Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you Monday, September the 19th, the year's 2022. Let's talk trading. Highest low, lowest high trade. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. I had a trader ask about the highest low, lowest high trade if I made a video, and I think I've talked about it in other videos, but never really dedicated a video to it. So this is that video. What had happened was I had posted out here on Stock Fetcher in the Never Lose Again thread filter that I had written. And basically, all it's doing is it's plotting some lines. The highest low for the let's see, where do we have it? The highest low and lowest high for the past 20 days. So then every night it'll send me a report, and under the buy column, if it's a 0, that means on the next day look for a buy. If it's a -1, it means you probably missed your opportunity. So we can just take a look here at the Dollar Tree stock, and it triggered a buy at 137.80. So you can see it put in that low, then triggered a buy, looks like on the next day, came down but didn't break the stop loss, and then went back up. And so it looks like you could have probably made maybe 4 or 5% gain, maybe a little bit more on the money when it peaked right there. And then you see must have had earnings or something, because then the bottom dropped out the next day. So if you were actually in this trade and you saw this happen and you saw it moved up to try and fill that gap, then it started pulling back, you could just take your money off the table. At least that's the way how I would have played that one. We can take a look here at Apple, and you can see here Apple triggered here, gapped up. Pretty much take your money off the table, because then the next day it gapped down and just continued to tank. So, but you can see back here we had a nice opportunity, price moved and just kept moving up. Now, the thing about it is this is on the daily charts, and so your question would probably be, hey, does this work on the lower time frames? And the answer is yes, it does. So I stripped off a bunch of indicators here, so you can just see the highest low, lowest high. And in this case, I used the TRO mid dots indicator to plot it. So you can say show the highest low, lowest high true. In this case, I use 34 bars. Why 34? Because that matches the 3-level ZZ indicator, which the 3 ball is a 33 period swing point. So I just use the same. So right here you can see there was a trigger to go long. Here it's 72. It actually hit 72.1. So the question is, would you have taken that trade? Why or why not? And the thing is, yeah, you should take that trade, even though it seems like it hit that level and turned right around on you. Now, this may prove to be a winning trade, may prove to be a losing trade, don't know. If you're wondering what this line is, that's just the price meter from the open. So at the time, this was green, so that pretty much would signal along that you want to be long above the H1 open and short below. I'm pretty sure that's on H1. The price meter, yeah, 1 hour. And that way you don't have to be looking at the hourly chart. And it's just one of those visual on chart visuals. So here we're getting a second opportunity to go long at the 32.70, except on this particular broker, this is the ask. And so so when price dropped down and started moving up, you have to buy at the ask, because if you wait for the bid, then you're going to have to make up those couple of pips. And it depends on your broker, and it depends on how you like to trade. You might want to actually see price break it on the bid side as opposed to the ask side. So right there, it's moving up. And then over here, I've got the multimeters that just basically tell me, I say I need to change a couple of them. How far price is from the open, from the previous open, from the previous high, previous low, previous close. And then I also have the range indicator over here, so I know what the range is. But, you can see here how price is just pretty much ranging from about this level to about this level. And because you can see all the wicks, so the bodies are pretty much confined to this small area. One thing to note, the pound banks are closed today for the funeral of the Queen. So that might be part of the reason why we're getting this rangy, choppy situation. And I also wrote a scalper indicator that will give signals, ready, set, go, for when the trade's on. But notice I have the M5 bias, and when price was down here, M5 was red, so that's why those signals are gray at the moment. And now that M5 is green, but it's between the two dots, so there's no higher low, lower high trade at the moment. Right now, 1.5 pips above that lowest high. And of course, in Forex, if you are more of a swing trader, maybe you like looking at the 4-hour chart. And you can see here, we'll take the news runs off, but so right here, there was a nice run. Even here where price ran up and pulled back was still worth 10 or more pips. So you had a long trigger at 15.55 and you had a high 87. So what's that? 32 pip. That's not a bad run. And then once again here, it triggered, didn't go up that much. So as always, you have your stop loss in place so you don't get burned. And you just know you're not going to win every trade. And then here, you can see price came down, touched that lower high, once, twice, 3 times. So it touched it, moved up, touched it, moved up higher, came down, touched it, then moved up even higher. So sometimes you can just take those as I will trade long at the bluish dots and short at the reddish dots and leave it at that. In this particular case, you see it touched the dot and moved. One thing that I've learned on this trade is when you see a big move like this, it's almost, you never ever take the first trade down. You want to see it consolidate and then start to look for the short. And that just seems to work out a lot better. Especially, you can probably see it even more on the lower time frames. So once again, you can see how price is now breaking out of that range. Probably wants to come back down to this level because right here there's a huge imbalance. So you can see we're below the lowest high. And that's why the checkbox is on. I don't know if there's really anything else to say. The TRO HL5 indicator also has HLLH code built into it. So if you like to see the horizontal lines and have shading, you can use that indicator also. I don't believe I have that up on the chart. That's flip-flops. No, I don't have that on the chart here. So this looks like a return bar, 11.8 pips. See if price will come back up to that level. And as I mentioned, let's see, we're right here. You can use this on the higher time frame, so even the mid-range time frame. So here we are at M30, where price is triggering right now. And so can wait and see what happens for a couple of minutes. And so that lowest high was put in here. And let's see what happens at the line. So 1.6 pips. And once again, depending on how heavy you're trading, 1 or 2 pips might be all you're looking for. Of course, you might want more. There's a 2 pips. I saw 3. There's 3, 8, 4. And notice once again how quickly or how quick, that price moves the bid and the ask. So when you see there was 5 pips, when you see your target, if you've got your hand on the mouse, you might want to take it. Or as soon as you see it, or you might want to have a TP set on the trade. So I guess making this video right now, got lucky, had a couple examples of price going in the direction we wanted it to go off of the lower high. And so sitting here looking at the range, you can know, let's see, from back here, if we put this on M30, you can see we're somewhere almost range-wise. We're in the ballpark, so any more would just be gravy on the biscuit, as my buddy JNL0 would say. So, fellow traders, I hope that helps. If you have any more questions about the higher low, lower high trade, feel free to ask. And just remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.